This is Hot Mike with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mike rolls on here. Final half hour of our coverage, live at least, here in Las Vegas. Much more coming up throughout the day here on WDAY through our newscasts at 11, 6, and 10. And, of course, we'll have some more stuff interspersed throughout the day. The fun of live television, I believe Coach Mullen is interviewing with a couple other places right now, so if we're going to be able to get him here in this segment. We are UTEP head coach Scotty Walden will join us 10:40, 10:42, somewhere in that range. Will join us in there. Let's get a couple emails in from earlier. Don, there was a sneaky good nugget in your discussion with the commissioner. When you brought up expansion and what the Mountain West Conference is looking for, what was the first thing she said? When a school reaches out to us, we tell them, and that was the only time she referenced that. She referenced the league contacting a prospective school, and a second time later in the conversation. To me, that's further evidence that despite what NDSU or any other school says publicly, the impetus is on them to be reaching out, expressing their interest, and communicating their readiness to move up. How about this? This is some good live television here. We got the head football coach at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, to join us, who was a former TV guy. He went to the dark side, and went back to the other profession.
Everyone says that both ways. I was on the dark side, went to the light side, or I was on the light side, went to the dark side, and back. I've gone back and forth.
Dan Mullen, the head coach, UNLV, joins us. First off, great to meet you. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, great to be here.
So for us in Fargo, obviously the tension on the potential maybe with UNLV and North Dakota State. What do you know about North Dakota football first?
Well, I know this. There's a culture of winning and an expectation and a standard of winning at North Dakota State. There is a passionate fan base that loves football. I love football. Right, I love it. I love what it stands for. I love what it represents. I love the embrace in that and how people love it. And when you go watch North Dakota State play, when you watch their fan bases, when you watch the game, when you see College Game Day and stuff, when you see the passion and the energy, the excitement around the program, I love that it's important to the people of North Dakota, their football team.
When did you hear about this? What was your initial reaction about the Bison coming into the Mountain West?
I was like, let's make sure we get him here to Vegas. I don't want to, even though I will say this, okay? I am at.
Have you been to North Dakota?
I think there's only two states in the United States I have not stepped foot in.
Yeah.
And North Dakota's, and the Dakotas are my two. Right.
Well, we got to get that done, so maybe next year then that's the case, huh?
I will check that box. Okay, and I might then night before the game have to get in a car,
just drive. Well,
drive south.
You could just drive it out,
and then
south.
Just get out of the car.
Absolutely.
Maybe walk into a gas station, get a soda, and drive back. Because I've been there. I've not. That's how I've checked a couple of my boxes.
Hey, it doesn't matter one way or the other.
Well, when
right?
I think I did it the one time, my wife and I were cruising around. We went to Yellowstone National Park. We drove up through Montana and then Idaho. Now I've been there since. And then back to Utah when I was in Utah. I got out of the car. So, up in there. Check it. I made it.
One's like, hey, you make sure in this. So we're doing a little we're doing live TV. We want to make sure we're
we're
live. Obviously, expectations are sky high. We saw the amount of media that was here for your players yesterday. Describe that. You have a new quarterback. You bring back an outstanding running back. How do you handle that here? Because that's almost unheard of for UNLV football to have this kind of expectation.
Yeah, it is. But when you break down and I look at football, the last years playing in the championship game each of the years. When you go to players, okay, they only know the last couple of years. In fact, you walk into a high school to go somewhere. Yeah. They started watching college football and really paying attention 2 to 3 years ago. So they know UNLV wins. Hey, that's right. They don't know that 20 years ago we were terrible, or bad for a long time.
Right.
They look at UNLV and say, well, the last 3 years been in championship games, the younger generation. So I think the culture within the program with the players, the local feel, the excitement, you have your diehard fans that are like, hey, I suffered through the tough years, and we're really enjoying the good ones right now. I think that's the buy-in, that's the excitement. The Mountain West Conference is really exciting. I think like you said, I do think for us, being where we are, being a team that's played in the championship game the last 3 years, I expect an invasion of North Dakotans. Did I say that right?
You got it.
Okay. Here in Las Vegas, because I'm sure they got the schedule. Hey, we're in the Mountain West.
Yep.
I'm not going to be negative on some places, but they're like, I hope we go to Las Vegas.
Vegas and Honolulu were the top ones, and the Bison are going to both of them, which, get the destination out of it. Those are tough football teams. That's what I'm trying to tell people back in Fargo. Like, hey, it's great destination-wise. The games are going to be really, really difficult.
I think one thing there to see is the league top to bottom.
Yeah.
Is great. The margin for error in this league is very, very. You're not walking in and said, okay, hey, these two teams are separated above everybody else. You're going to have to, you better show up every single week and bring your A game in this league, because balance and the depth of good teams in the Mountain West.
I wanted to ask you about that for Bison fans that are watching this, Dan, for the first time. How do you evaluate, what's the best way to describe what the league is in terms of talent, in terms of what the players look like in this conference?
Well, I think each team really embraces their identity, right? Of who they are and what you are. Like, I mean, if when the Bison come in, they're going to be big, they're going to be physical, play great defense, run the ball up front. But you're going to have to go to Wyoming. You better be ready for that too. They're going to be a big physical team. New Mexico, you got to be ready. They're going to be a physical football team. Then all of a sudden you got Air Force, and you better figure out how to run the option, right? And then you're going to go play the speed of all the wideouts at Hawaii the next week. And so I think it's when you're getting, each team kind of embraces who they are, and you got to be ready for different styles of football week in and week out.
Your schedule, right off the hop, Memphis at home is a tough one, and then you go to Hawaii right away. Tell me about the first two games right at the start of your year.
Obviously huge, and when you do it. And one of the things in scheduling for us, and I think everybody in the league, I think it's important. I look at our schedule, and I want to set it up of, hey, I know we got a tough conference. If we have the opportunity to win the Mountain West, I want to hopefully have us in a position that we get that college football playoff.
Yeah.
And for the conference, because the conference depth is going to give you great quality. But if we can get outside and go open up with a Memphis, who's probably the favorite in the American Conference, North Texas, who was one of the top teams in that league last year. We got Cal coming in as a Power 4 team, as well as our schedule. I think that going to Hawaii week 1, because we open week 0. We'll know a lot about our team early in this year. But the schedule, it's never, when you never gets easier.
I was talking with former Bison head coach Craig Bohl, obviously coached at Wyoming, about the whole trip. Have you gone before, and what have you gathered information about what that trip is like?
I haven't. I think you have to talk to some different people. If you can make a lot of it, or a little of it, and you want to embrace certain things of it. And one of the things, honestly, I spill the beans. I'll give you. We're going to get there in plenty of time. Where our hotel is, give our guys 2 to 3 hours. Go see the beach. Go ahead and go down. You can go down to the Waikiki Beach and walk along the beach, then come back and let's get ready for football. Yeah. And we're not going on vacation, and we're not going to make it miserable. We're going to go try to set a good schedule, let the guys see, like, okay, that's cool. Let's get back to business, and get ready to go play a football game. And I think that's kind of the focus. And, we played them in a big game last year late in the season, so I think there's some familiarity with the team. And, we've had very minimal coaching turnover. So have they. So you kind of, I think each team is going to have a little bit of an idea of what the other one's going to do.
Two last things. I appreciate you doing this. Jackson Arnold's a high-profile name. Describe of getting him in and what he can be for your quarterback for this season.
Well, I think, Jackson's done a great job. I think, in today's world, he comes in. He's a guy, when I got hired last year, we tried to recruit him, ended up going to Auburn, which they're tough. We don't quite have the same. Their scholarships are worth a lot more money than ours. Right?
Well, a different ball.
Now it's legal. They used to say that like with a wink and a nod, right? Now it just is what it is. Now it's like, hey, it's a flat rate. But he came available again. We got together and met him. One of the great things about him is sat down and he's like, Coach, I'm an older guy. I really understand the development and your experience and your resume of developing quarterbacks. I want to be developed as a player. That's priority number one. Is how can I want to go somewhere to be really coached and developed hard. And in today's world, that's what we try to look for, right? I mean, you know, one of the things, and I think if you look at one of the things that I would jump up and down on the table to say that North Dakota State's done so well over the years is identify guys that love football, because obviously, right? I mean, they were even coming up, dominating at the FCS level, beating a lot of FBS teams along the way. They were doing it with guys that maybe aren't the highest profile guys, but they found guys that love ball, that want to be coached, that want to be developed. And I think that's a big part to it. And that was a huge part with the Jackson Arnold for the guy that this is, I want to be coached, want to be developed. And we want a roster full of guys that love football.
Appreciate your time. Last thing I got to ask, from on the TV side of it, what did you learn about your time at ESPN you now coaching-wise with the game?
I think the one big thing, being away from football during that big transition, right? I mean, the portal had started. NIL was, I guess my last year at Florida, it was legal in Florida.
Yeah. That's right.
The administration did not to take advantage of it. But anyway, I got to see afar, and then something to try to change day to day and adjust to it. I got to talk to a lot of coaches, got to see some different things, and say, hey, this is who we are. This is like, I understand. I'm going to come back. I'm not going to change how I run a program, but I'm going to tweak how I do it. I'm going to have different expectations, different standards for me personally in how the program's going to shape up. This is how I want to handle, and I think it's made it a lot easier being away from coaches that had to go from, this is how I've done it. Right. I got to change this way now. Oh, now I got to change to this. Now I got to change to this. I got to see it from afar and adjust and say, okay, I'm going to reset my thought on the game and how I want to approach running the program in the new world of college football.
This was great. Thanks so much for doing this. I look forward to being back out here in the middle of October. I have a feeling it might be about 10,000 Bison fans Allegiant Stadium for your games.
They're going to have a lot of fun. It's an awesome stadium. Yeah. It's a great experience. It's a really cool deal for everybody, and we're excited to have them. I'm excited, to have them in the league because of not just the winning, but the passion, as you said. Yeah. I love the passion of fan bases. I love when football's important, people.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
Dan Mullen joining us, UNLV head football coach here. We'll take our final break. We got one more coach coming. UTEP head coach Scotty Wallen will join us. We come back here live to Las Vegas right after this.